Hello, welcome to video 2 of my working holiday experience in Australia. Guess what? We found a place to live. We're all moved out of our hostel, so I'm going to talk about the process of finding a place and what it was like moving and renting costs. So, to find an apartment or home to live in, you can go through a rental agency to sign a lease, but the best option for backpackers is finding a sublet posted in a Facebook group or on flatmates.com.au. That way, you can find a place to stay for as long as shorter you need versus like a 6-month minimum. We did message people on Flatmates before we got to Australia, but we didn't really get responses. I think because they're more inclined to respond to people who are already in Australia so that they can meet them quickly and not waste their time if you never end up showing up. Once we got to our hostel in Australia, we got to work messaging multiple people a day and trying to make sure that we didn't get scammed. We finally found a place that we absolutely loved, but had to find one more person to share it with to make it affordable. We checked into our hostel on a Thursday, and this was on that Sunday after. And it can take people weeks to find a place, as it only gets harder heading further into Australia's summer from what we've heard, which is around November, so we wanted to act quick. In the middle of the night before, a girl from Denmark checked into our room, and we spoke to her for maybe like 5 minutes when she woke up, and immediately asked her if she wanted to live with us. So within an hour of meeting each other for the first time, she was on a ferry with us to view the apartment. Here are some of the birds that we had to walk by. That's me screaming. Really riveting content, I know. And that was me recovering from the situation. I was maybe a little too excited to be sharing a bunk bed with my friend as a 26-year-old woman, but we were all for it. We really liked the place and agreed to move in that Wednesday, so this happened very quick for us and quicker than normal, I think, for most backpackers. I really wanted to try sushi because there's sushi everywhere here, so we finally got some to celebrate. Then we walked and walked and walked some more, and stopped by a restaurant for margaritas before going back to our first home. Since we had a few more nights in the hostel, I got the easiest thing that I could make from the grocery store, and this brand was actually really good. And look how cheap that oat milk is, $3 AUD, that's like $2 USD, but it might taste really bad, I have no idea. The morning before we moved out, we had some free croissants that we got from our new friend at a bakery, and we tried this custard apple from the grocery store that Kat found, and we were really highly invested in this custard apple for some reason.
There's no spoons.
Where are they? I just eat my yogurt with a fork.
Forgot about this. Oh, this is scary. Then what?
Yeah, how do you eat it?
I think you can eat the seeds. You can eat the seeds.
We got coffee every day that week because it was only $3 a cup compared to like $8 to $10 that I would spend in New York, so I was living. Okay, and then I had to get McDonald's. I had my eye on it every day since we got there, and I just like seeing what McDonald's menus have on them in each country that I go to. This is me trying to touch the digital menu as minimally as possible. So Aussies must love cheese because the McDonald's food menu wasn't too different except for everything had fried cheese. I just thought that British people loved cheese toasties from watching Love Island, but I guess Aussies do as well. The biggest different item that I noticed was mozzarella sticks with chili jam, and they were very good. They also had some dessert items that were different from the American menu, like cookies and a custard pie. Sorry, I forgot to get a shot of the menu because I was so focused on ordering because I'm indecisive. So here's a photo of what these cookies look like. I also wanted to see if Sprite was the same here because you know McDonald's Sprite in the US is the best. Sadly, this was the worst Sprite I ever had. I also asked the cashier for ginger ale and he looked at me like I was crazy. So can any Aussies tell me if you guys have ginger ale here? Thank you. Kat brought in her Indian food from down the street and it was delicious and I was jealous. Then after we found these burger chips, Aussies really love meat. This is me posing with the Sprite because I sent this to my friend Jen who bought these shorts for me. They say my therapist loves me because I'm really good at therapy. At this point in the week, my face was breaking out and it was hard to sleep with the sirens and loud people outside. And I was truly so grateful to have a place to stay, but also very excited to settle into a home and stop using this little ass towel and putting my soap bar into this little petite box and climbing up and down these metal stairs every time I forgot something. I was also excited to move somewhere more quiet and chill after living in New York for so long. And as I've met people, they kind of assumed that I would want to be in the city or more comfortable in the city, but in reality, it could not be more opposite from that. Okay, here we are on the morning of our move. Look how excited I look. I do look like I'm from Brooklyn here. The black boots and white tank are very self-explanatory. And here I am lugging 70 pounds of clothes down the stairs. We went to get a coffee. I asked for an iced coffee and they said with ice cream. I said yes, because I assumed it was like cold foam or something. And then I saw her put a literal scoop of vanilla ice cream in it at 9 a.m. But it was delicious, so I wasn't mad about it. After we finished our ice cream, we got an Uber to a new place because we had so much luggage. We got our keys. How do you feel?
Homeowners!
My rent personally for my spot in the apartment is about 340 AUD a week with all the bills included, like Wi-Fi, electric, etc. In Australia, rent prices are listed by the week. So that's about 1,360 AUD a month, which is the equivalent to 217 US dollars a week and 868 US dollars a month. To give you some perspective, the minimum wage in Australia is just below 25 Australian dollars an hour, and there is an opportunity to make more depending on the time that you work. So people seem to be able to afford living here pretty well. After settling in a little bit, I talked to my mom, and then we got breakfast around noon because I was shaking after having just espresso and ice cream that day. Then we came back and unpacked our things, yay. Then we were like, okay, beach time. People were in winter coats because it's freezing and winter, but I was wearing a bathing suit in sarong because I'm from Ohio. And it was still sunny and like 60 degrees this day, I think. Everything is just so nice here. The sand, the sun, the water. My roommate is wearing Mary Jane's on the beach because she's cool. You can see some people here were swimming, so we're not insane. We ran into the water and I dunked my whole body underwater that was about 2 feet deep just to see what it felt like. And it was cold but amazing. Then we were freezing, so we went back to dry off and immediately were like, okay, that's enough, let's go home. Later, we wanted to see what was on the Australian Netflix, so there's a lot of new movies, and look how much Harry Potter and Gossip Girl slay. I was gonna make homemade pasta sauce for my roommates that night, but then I ended up just getting regular canned sauce. But I did cook, okay? Now we're off on our job search for our next step in Australia, so stay tuned for that. Bye!